So we're here at Cuisineer. Can you tell us a little bit about your game?
It's an action roguelite with a restaurant.
Nice. So why did you choose the restaurant theme? Was there like a reason?
Okay, so it's actually a long story. I know the interview might not have time, but so the studio was close to death. We were running out of money. So we asked ourselves, what game would we make if we made one last game together? And the answer was more of an action roguelike with like simulator. So we are from Singapore. We like food a lot, and we actually had one cancelled game that was a cooking game. So we decided to put our basically what we love, so like action game, with what we also love, which is stomach, right? So heart and stomach together, basically made Cuisineer. And yeah, so we followed our hearts and stomachs and got an action game with food, which is Cuisineer.
And it seems like it's very, very successful.
I think that's relative, but I think we are very thankful to our fans and everybody bought the game. I'd say it's doing well. Obviously, more sales would always be great. We do note that I think some regions or countries haven't really heard about the game as well. So I think we're always pushing a little bit more, but no, I can't complain at this point. I think it's good. We just like to push it a bit.
I played for a little bit, and then like I really like the graphic and like all the, I guess like the idea of like how you're managing a restaurant, but at the same time you're like also fighting around to collect the items for the managing. So like who first started with the idea? Like was it just the whole team, or was it like one person saying, hey, we should do this? Or
okay, so I think it starts with, I guess, so I'm the lead game designer for the company. I guess you could say I start things, but I really need the team's approval and buy-in. It actually was a very smooth process because a lot of us, play action like Hades, Diablo, Diablo 3, etc. So making that decision was easy. And then for the food part, that again I think was easy because we all like food. And yeah, we were quite adamant about having food be a big element of it, mostly due to the cancelled game. So we were like, okay, that was cancelled, we're still gonna put food in it.
Yes.
And I'm really glad that we did, because I think that's something close to us during COVID. So this game was literally made during the pandemic, right? A lot of us couldn't go out to eat together. So yeah, food is a thing.
I'm also glad you made that decision. I played it. I really, really enjoyed it. So can you tell us a little bit about your studio? Like, is it like a big team, or like how many people developed this game?
So we're all from Singapore. There's about 10 of us when we finished Cuisineer. And Cuisineer did reasonably well. Still doing well, right? So I think we are now closer to about 14 or so. A couple of people who are freelancing joined the team officially, so that's nice. We are working on, what can I say? We're working on new stuff. And also we've been updating Cuisineer quite a bit. And yeah, just keep an eye out for stuff we're working on.
So as a lead of the team, like what's the most difficult part of...
What's the most difficult part? I think it's more just, this might be for every team, it's like communication.
Yes, yeah.
It's about remembering that the small things matter. So I think when we made Cuisineer, like I said, it was a stressful time. We were nearly out of money, but I'm very grateful to the team. Everybody pulled through, worked very hard. And I think, so it's remembering and trying to balance everybody's hard work, but also getting rest and being rewarded for that hard work, whilst trying to run literally a business, right? So I think that's I wouldn't necessarily say it's the most difficult thing, but it's something that we bear in mind, that I try and bear in mind a lot. Also because a lot of us are not just colleagues, like a lot of the team, we were friends from school actually. So we came together after working for other companies. So I think sometimes it's tricky to balance between being friends and colleagues. And that's something we just continually try to work on.
Nice. So you mentioned Diablo and Hades. Is there like any other game that you guys were inspired by, or like maybe like a movie or some other like music or?
There's a lot. So I think two of the obvious references here would be Moonlighter and Racketeer.
Yeah.
So those ones are more of an item shop game with adventuring. So those were definitely references and inspirations, but we wanted a different take on it. So again, that's why we did restaurant.
Right.
I mean, references and inspiration, there's tons. Like a lot of us are fans of Stardew Valley. A lot of us like cozy games as well. Tons of people have asked us for farming. Maybe not in this game, maybe in another game.
Right.
I think basically, I mean, a lot of us play different things. V-Rising.
Yes, V-Rising,
we played a lot of that as well. I'd say the list of inspirations is actually very long.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, right?
Yeah. We all get inspired by each other.
We do. And I think even playing something, I mean, you could say unrelated or whatever, right? But like, some of us played Helldivers 2 together.
Yes.
And you just look at how they did some things, even from like marketing to like the juice of the game, how juicy the game feels, to like how they build their meta systems, things like that. We look at everything basically.
Yes.
So I think we're just gamers, and we like food, so we made a game about food.
That was simple as it gets. So what's your favorite game of all time?
Man, no, that's an unfair question.
Okay, fine. Like some most recent ones, I guess.
Recent.
The ones that you love playing recently.
V-Rising quite a bit. So they finally went into the full launch version.
Yes, they did. This like
it was
recently.
this year.
Yeah,
right? We definitely played a lot of Helldivers 2 as well. Core Keeper, I think also, I guess you could say, went into full launch. I've not gotten around to playing that yet, but I want to. Mobile side, I've been playing Fortress Saga. That's basically what I've been playing. Yeah.
Okay, so as a game developer yourself, do you have like a game philosophy that you have? You always want to include this theme to the game when you're developing, or?
I wouldn't say we have like a unified philosophy. I think it's more just we think about, or at least I think about, what kind of experience we want the player to go through for a specific game.
Yes.
And I think it's good to try and remember what is different from game to game, right? So in fact, how also the target audience might differ for our next game from Cuisineer, and how it's the same. I'm sorry, I can't give a more specific answer than that, but it's more just how do we make the best game for the target audience that we've got?
Yes.
And I think that's something we're grateful for also, to the people who offered feedback for Cuisineer. We made a lot of improvements to the game, and some of it also is, I mean, we do know, but we were short on time. So I think there's a balance there that we have to try and strike about granting all the wishes, granting the relevant wishes for the game, and then things we might save for another game. So I think it's just bearing in mind what works for this game, what works for this audience versus another game's audience.
Yeah, I think one of my friend game developer also said, like, you know, it's all about how the players would feel, not like how great of a game you make. Like, you know, even if you put like a lot of effort and then you think it's a good game, but then the audience or the players, when they play it, they don't feel the same way, and then it's not something
I think we did go through a little bit of that. But it's also, I mean, it's not really a counterpoint, right?
Yeah.
So I think for us, there was some, like the game looks cute, but the combat's possibly difficult.
Yes.
So I think we tried to do what we can to mitigate some of that and ease people in. I think there's definitely still work we can do on teaching players mechanics. That one I'll totally admit is true. But at the same time, right, I think you need to have enough of the heart and understand your core material.
Yes.
In this case, I think the love of various things, right, that make up Cuisineer. Food, definitely, right? A bright, happy, cute world that I want, right? That's important. Fua, you know, like fluffy. So I think that as a feel is important to understand, and I don't know, it's like you get a vibe, right? So if you don't get the vibe, then it's hard to build a vibe.
Right.
So I think it's sometimes it's also that sincerity in game making, and I think if you have that in mind when you build, and you do your due diligence,
Yes.
then I think audience gets that as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So I'd say that's also important.
Yes, I totally understand. So the game is already out on Steam. Was there like? Do you also have like a plan to have like DLC of some sort, or?
I cannot publicly say.
Yeah, I was a company is confident. Okay, so hope cannot. Yeah, okay, so yeah, but I mean the game itself is already awesome. I mean I only played for like 10 minutes, but I already love the graphic and the battles are very very fun. I really love it, enjoy it. Do you have anything that you want to say to the gamers or players that might want to play the game, or?
I just hope you have a good time, and if you get hungry playing the game, then we know we did our job well.
That's a great way to put it. So yeah, it's Cuisineer. It's already on Steam. So play it, and yeah, that was a good interview. I think. Thank you for having this interview. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll probably look forward to the next game. Maybe you guys are publishing or making or developing, or yeah. Thank you.
Keep your eyes open.
Okay, thank you, Shawn.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Minimap, your ultimate gaming hub.